everyone, so first video review for this week is for Tapping Into Love by Monica Mccallan. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, I did just post that the other day. So if you are on YouTube, there's a link in the description below, and if you're on Facebook or on my blog, then there is a link directly within the post. And this is the video review. So Tapping Into Love by Monica Mccallan, which has been out for ages, so loads of you have probably already read it, but for those of you who haven't, this was like it was just like a nice cuddle. It was so lovely. So it's the story of Sierra, and she returns back to her hometown to attend her father's funeral, and she runs straight into Lucy. Lucy is less than thrilled to have her back, and there's a bit of tension there because of sort of the past with her father. So Sierra, she's reunited with her brother. She learns why Lucy's so against them and why she got that sort of cold shoulder when she arrived in town, and she makes the decision to help her brother and sort of the family business to restore the family's reputation with this town. But you know, Lucy's very skeptical that they've changed, and so she's being a bit of a so the more time Lucy sort of spends with Sierra sort of in her presence, because she kind of doesn't get a choice in the end, other characters within the book kind of determine that they will be spending time together, and she, you know, the less she can kind of deny her dislike of Sierra, because she kind of finds herself attracted to her, and luckily Sierra is feeling a bit of an attraction too, so they start to get along, and it was just such a heartwarming little story. Laced with that rivalry, just gave it all the extra drama that it needed for a romance. And then it was very one-sided on Lucy's part, this rivalry. You know, Sierra was kind of a little bit dazed as to what it was. She's not been living in the town, so she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So it was kind of that enemies to lovers. It just melted me from the very first chapter, because it just worked so well, and there were so many cute moments and so many intense moments between Sierra and Lucy, either involving the other characters that surrounded them or just between them themselves. They were really good at that, that I couldn't help but fall in love with them as characters. They were just brilliant characters, and I loved them. But what made the story, it was that sense of family. So Monica had really built into this, you know, that Sierra and her brother, they were so welcoming and warm. They couldn't have been more different than how Lucy was making them out, their family out, and Lucy was still giving them the cold shoulder, and yet they still were warm and welcoming to her and her friends and the town and everything. And it was adorable how they eventually sort of ended up very much a part of Lucy's life, both of them, and it was all sort of out of her control. I love that. She really had very little say in how involved these people were going to end up in her life. So there was so much emotion poured into this story, there really was, and I could really identify with how the characters were feeling, all of them, Lucy and Sierra, both of them, like Sierra's brother, everybody. You could really sort of put yourself in their shoes and understand why they were feeling like they were, but you really got a sense of everything. And then it was just the morals behind the story. They were really commendable, like to teach that you should forgive and forget, and that, you know, I think the most important one is that obviously people aren't their parents, and Monica portrayed that misconception beautifully, sort of using Lucy's experience of the past fueling how she was behaving towards Sierra, not really knowing Sierra at all because she hadn't been in town for forever, and you know, until she realised that Sierra was someone she was actually going to like, she sort of let go of those demons and realised that she was wrong to judge that way. And I loved that moral. That was a really good moral in there. But it was such a beautiful story. It really was. Like I say, it was like having a cuddle, and it just made me smile and feel all warm and cosy, and it really gave me that autumnal feel, or if you're in America, you know, that fall feeling. And it was definitely a read to put me in that autumnal mood. Like, I'm ready for the change of season, and I read it at just the right time as well, because we've just had the equinox, and I just was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And you could just feel the warmth and the love, and that, you know, that feeling, you must know that feeling that you get around the time of the change of the season from summer to autumn, and you're just sort of like, it's cozy, it feels nice, you can wear your jumpers again, and you can enjoy all those things that the summer kind of ruins a little bit, like hot chocolate with marshmallows and syrup on stuff, and you know what I mean, like book. I'm trying to, we don't really do that in England, but you know what I mean. You can have that hot chocolate and snuggle up with a blanket, and the days get a bit darker, and it was lovely like that. It just had that lovely feel to it, of that coziness of cuddling up with a blanket. And I really highly recommend it. It was a really sweet story for any lover of romance. It was just really sweet and I loved it. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of Tapping Into Love by Monica Mccallan, which I hope you will. If you've read Tapping Into Love, I would love to hear your thoughts. Please comment below, get involved, tell me what you thought of the book. And if you haven't read it yet, but it's on you to be read list, you're planning to read it, or you're now really interested in reading it, again, comment below, because it's always great to hear what you're interested in reading. And if you do read it, like I say, I really, really hope you enjoy it and love it and feel warm and cozy after doing so. Yeah, so enjoy. Bye.